Very good morning, children. Yesterday, we started with the chapter tissue and we discussed that there are two types of tissues, that is, plant tissue and animal tissue. And in plant tissue, we discussed meristematic tissues. Now, I am just going to repeat what meristematic tissues are. Meristematic tissues are the dividing tissues which have the capability of dividing themselves. Yesterday, we did the three types of meristematic tissue, that is apical meristem, intercalary meristem and lateral meristem. Apical meristem, as you can see in the diagram, it is found at the growing tips of stems, roots and growing young leaves, and it is responsible for growth and elongation of roots and stems. That is, it helps to increase the length of the plant. Second type of meristematic tissue is intercalary meristem, right? It is found at the base of leaves and twigs and at the base of internodes. Now, node is a place from where the leaves arises, and the place between the two nodes, it is called internodes. And this is responsible, intercalary meristem is responsible for increasing the length of organs and branches and is responsible for bending movement of twigs. The third is lateral meristem. Now, lateral meristem, this is found in the vascular bundles of stems and roots and as a cork cambium beneath the bark. Now you have to remember the function of lateral meristem. That lateral meristem, it helps to increase the diameter, that is the girth of the plants. I hope I am clear. This was about the yesterday's lecture, types of meristematic tissues. Now see children, when the meristematic tissues, they lose their capability of dividing. I repeat, when the meristematic tissues, they lose the capability of dividing, they become permanent tissues. Permanent tissues are again of two types, simple permanent tissues and complex permanent tissues. So we shall be discussing about simple permanent tissues. There are three types of simple permanent tissues. First is collenchyma, sclerenchyma, and the third it is the parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma. I hope you got it. First is parenchyma, second collenchyma, and the third is sclerenchyma. So one by one I shall explain to you. Now see, the first type of permanent tissue, it is a living plant tissue which is thin walled, right? And it is considered as one of the fundamental tissues. Now, where is parenchyma found? Parenchyma, it is found in the soft parts. Very important. Where is parenchyma found? It is found in the soft parts of almost all the organs of the plant, like your stem, your roots, your fruits, flower, etc. So what are the characteristics of parenchyma? Now see children, what are the characteristics of parenchyma which we are going to discuss. Parenchyma cells are living cells with thin cell wall of cellulose They are rounded and they have a dense cytoplasm. There are different types of parenchyma. First parenchyma, chlorenchyma. Now this chlorenchyma, it has chloroplast which helps to carry out photosynthesis and is present in leaves and young stems. The first type of parenchyma, that is chlorenchyma, which helps to carry out photosynthesis because it has chloroplast. The second is erenchyma. The word erenchyma, that is having air spaces. Now this type of parenchyma, that is erenchyma, it has air cavities and it helps the aquatic plants to float on the water. So simple permanent tissue we have studied. First parenchyma and the two types of parenchyma, that is chlorenchyma and erenchyma. And everybody should know the functions of parenchyma. That parenchyma, it is a packing tissue or a ground tissue. It gives rigidity to the plant. It's in storage organs, parenchyma cells, they store food. Chlorenchyma helps to carry out photosynthesis and erenchyma, it helps the plants to float on water. Now second type of simple permanent tissue which we are going to do, it is the collenchyma. Now see children, collenchyma, it is a type of a simple permanent tissue which helps in elongation of cells and thickening of primary cell wall only. It is present in the stem and it forms a layer below the epidermis. Now, the characteristic features, you just remember 2 or 3 characteristic features. That is the collenchyma, they have living cells and are having long cells and their shape is polygon or oval in shape, and the cytoplasm, it has a large central vacuole, right children? And the basic function is giving mechanical support to the plant, and collenchyma with chloroplast also helps to carry out photosynthesis. The third type of simple permanent tissue, it is sclerenchyma. Now, parenchyma had live cells. Collenchyma also had live cells, but sclerenchyma, it is made up of dead cells. It is made up of dead cells and it is a hard supporting tissue. Now, where is sclerenchyma present? Sclerenchyma, it is present in the root, stems, leaves associated with vascular tissues. So, we have the characteristics of sclerenchyma. They are dead without nucleus. The cell wall is made up of cellulose and there is a cementing material which makes the cell wall very hard, that is called lignin. So sclerenchyma has a cementing material called lignin. Sclerenchyma, it gives mechanical strength. Like sclerenchyma, it is present in the fibers of the coconut. You must have seen the fibers of coconut which we pull out. So those are made up of sclerenchyma. The nuts, right? Their hard shell, it is made up of sclerenchyma. So we have 3 types of simple permanent tissues. That is, first is parenchyma. Parenchyma is of 2 types, chlorenchyma and erenchyma. Chlorenchyma word says chloroplast, which helps to carry out photosynthesis. And erenchyma having air spaces which helps the plants to float on the water. Then you have collenchyma and then the last is sclerenchyma. Kaima. That's all for the today. Thank you, children.